They paint a picture in your mind they want you to see. To infect memory is a successful marketing strategy.
Bogus.
Science
litters the screens.
graphs that mean little,
Tempting the dreams of those made unhappy.
with their appearance
By the screams of the
ideal image.
paraded half-naked on
city billboards and
TVs.
the hordes rush to consume culture's corporate
Colonization.
in bloom.
Ignoring mass
Production's consequence.
the unheard lament of the other side.
Communication geared for commerce.
A game.
Public relations.
Play in the mind.
Between reality and lies framed to coerce.
The more privileged members of this
To fuel the modern slavery they don't see, force
Suffering.
is a hard sell indeed. And so,
What is effaced from the immediate
reality. And so grows the
Economy.
yin-yang of production and consumption,
Causing islands of plastic.
floating in the sea.
Bottles labeled life, the horrifying irony with which
dead union leaders and fish alike would disagree.
to mention a few of the Q growing endlessly.
Advertising.
it's affecting attitudes by
Pulling the emotional trigger,
firing,
mirror neurons,
subconsciously breaking barriers.
raised against
Crazed.
24/7,
Exposure from a young age to edited
flawlessness,
and photoshopped job lots of body parts.
this obsession with thinness,
shown by
Vomiting.
girls and schools worried by the superficial
Coolness of the image in a world where the internal
Elements of the self.
fly largely ignored.
For passing trends, likes, selfies.
And more.
brain worms designed to entrap the minds
Target the youth and attempt
to shape the ways of
Potential consumers in future days.
Test the
Power of persuasion.
to seduce but
Reduce women and later meant to up.
objects,
The effect of
sex,
selling so endlessly.
We bear the brunt of
upfront
Misogyny.
ingrained in our society as well as quiet racism.
Dark
skin is lightened,
to fit
the white ideal.
How unreal to think of all those fallen fighting for civil liberties.
we've yet to dismiss the prejudice.
Magic.
potions and lotions, beauty
Products,
promise
Dreams.
of a
time machine,
though chemical cosmetics aren't all what they seem.
animal testing,
Animal parts.
Animals.
Habitats destroyed when they burn the rainforest down to the ground to make way for
plantations of palm,
oils.
found also in a third of foods, and some biofuels commonly sold at
Slashed prices.
by the mayhem of
The
multinational corporations.
Oh, how to stand out in the crowd.
when everything's been done before and
So extremes are born.
as a tolerance builds to the
Endless thrills on offer in the fantasy world of
pornography,
infiltrating desires in
moments of intimacy.
the male gaze pushed to its extremity. Commodified.
sexuality,
On demand for instant gratification.
Degrading,
violence,
desensitizing and miseducating the youth.
Yet to touch real relations.
Don't let the animal pull
Wool over your eyes.
Quietly monitoring nations, machines, and computers keeping information.
data observation. Records of movements you make or bought and
sold to those looking to make you behave, and
Think in a particular way.
they know who you are.
Who you know, and what you buy. Every step is tracked online.
Sophisticated censorship practicing perception management.
Manipulating the
Public mind
with
The manufacture of consent.
to their benefit. Fighting for
Power.
resources and profits in their best interests. Silent shepherds of the people, propagating their beliefs,
Despite the grief of
War.
spreading
Democracy.
at the point of a gun.
paradoxically brainwashed in the
Land of the free.
Unknowingly fanning the flames of hatred, triggering revenge.
a cycle to which there is no end.
Collateral damage and are played at home sweet home, yet ravaging foreign lands.
Beware the house of cards spinning stories of
Patriots.
glory,
Terrorism.
and the enemy.
Deception entices. Perpetual
Propaganda.
rife fabricated by
Invisible.
indoctrinators pulling strings.
Creating the illusion that
Killing.
Is
Winning.
What does the small print have to say about these claims?
Asterisks litter the writing.
Adverse side effects are all the same to bribing big
Pharmaceuticals.
Spreading lies to hide
Nature's oldest remedies.
In their place come pills you can pop, the one-stop shop to satisfaction.
Guaranteed
to fill the pockets of lobbied governments.
Doctors, and their crooked friends.
fast food culture's factory farming is harming our environment.
Money poorly spent on a
suicidal investment.
Mass-scale pollution.
And animals suffering within
cages they call home.
For a brief while.
Violently treated, welfare cast aside, expense minimized despite the price paid in pain by the souls consumed by the machine with a mean appetite.
Thankfully some scientists are growing meat from a petri dish.
As positive progress kicks in, the cows, pigs and chickens are celebrating in the bar of the barn on their local farm.
Desensitized.
Distracted with no time to empathize.
The TV box flashes with news from afar, more people's homelands ripped apart by war.
So they ran, and some countries opened their doors to refugees
begging please. Circumstance drove them to make an escape,
migrating in the hope of finding a safe place.
But refugees are drowning in the seas, rafts overloaded rocking in the breeze.
Smugglers satisfying their greed and the desperate pleas of those in need of escaping persecution as home capsizes.
No easy solutions to the problem growing, paranoia slowing decision-making.
There'll be more in time as weather changes.
The seas will rise and deserts will grow.
Will they have a place to go?
So are there any solutions to this pollution of the brain? True happiness cannot come from
filling the soul hole with material things or shiny bling.
It lies with connecting to the self you've been since your beginning.
Somewhere out there your choice of consumption makes a world of difference.
Take care to remember the law of cause and effect and your role in the chain.
Before we end up somewhere we regret.
If you really want change, demand it.
Because they heed the public will, for that's where the profit lies, and their hands are tied to the money go round.
When they see potential profits go down,
all of a sudden they listen, intent on knowing the mood growing in the madness of the crowd.
The planet is warming, the ice is melting, the deserts are growing, the animals migrating, change accelerating. Meanwhile, the clock is turning, the rainforest's burning, the coral is dying, but some people are trying to plant more, and trees, and things to help the bees. Keeping on, the fight continues to save the day. We all have our part to play, rising up to create the change we want to see collectively, when it's most needed. To watch consumption's footprint carefully. Imagination set us free, late in the hour of the human race against time.
But early in the dawn of interconnectivity.
So plant some seeds in modern minds. Positivity breeds belief in its possibilities. Which way will the balance swing? Mother Nature's prodigal children decide. Will it be winds howling and scowling us? Or will we harmonize with her rhythm and frequency while hope and the cliché of love hum forever in key? Learning ways of living greener together with cleaner energies. In a world where all living beings are valued over power and profit, and we finally realize our own short-sightedness.